大家好，我是 Benny。以下这段影片是继续我们11月6号在频道发行的 ANKORUS 创办人 John Cruz 的受访记录的第二部分。影片主要内容是在告诉大家 ANKORUS 这家公司在今年11月25号 ICO 之后的未来方向，还有 ANKORUS 这间公司所发行的 ANK Token 值得让你安心持有和获得一定获利的原因有哪些。
Okay, and one point you touched on just a few minutes ago, you were talking about getting the lowest possible commissions for your customers and users of Anchor tokens. Are you going to get an exchange seat, or are you working with somebody in the wholesale market, secondary market, or how are you able to get these commissions that are going to be low or almost no fee?
No, we'll have an exchange seat at the Chicago Stock Exchange. We'll also get a seat at the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. So our equity prices will be low as possible we can. We'll just pass that on to our customers. And our options prices will be lowest that can possibly get. And that'll also be passed on to our customers, our cryptocurrency customers and our traditional broker-dealer customers.
Okay, and now that you've brought me up to speed on that, I'm interested in purchasing some of these Anchor tokens, and now that I have a handful, let's say I have $500 worth and I want to buy half a share of Amazon stock, which is currently around $1,000, and I know one of the things you were focused on is fractionalizing U.S. equities or portions of some type of security. Walk me through the process. Okay, I have my Anchor tokens. I want to get half of a share of Amazon stock. Now, what do I do from this point forward? How do you know I even want Amazon?
Well, the customer will come to us and he decides what stocks or financial assets he wants. And we just accommodate him. He goes straight to the exchange and he makes his purchase. And then he can keep it in his account or he can have it tokenized, whatever he'd like. So if he has it tokenized, it becomes an Anchor token and it goes into his smart wallet, or he can just leave it in his account and he gets his daily paper statements from his account on that. And then once he has his Anchor tokens, he can hold them, store them, trade them in the secondary market. He can redeem them whenever he likes.
So correct me if I'm wrong, this would also give me a different way to hold out in extreme market volatility, because right now the only way I have to do it is by tether. So if I could slide sideways using Anchor tokens into something incredibly stable in the stock market, that would allow me to ride out the storm and then come right back in at my same purchasing power again without using tether. Is that right?
Exactly. But you can also buy dollars through us and create your own dollar tethers. That's also a possibility. We can also fill you on currencies, whatever currency you like. So you're not only locked into the dollar, but any currency that we can fill you on, you can tokenize that and you can make your own tether.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting, because I know a lot of the cryptocurrency traders are locked into the ecosystem, literally. I mean, you have very few choices except to slide between some of the underlying assets there. You could use Bitcoin as your underlier. You can use USDT. You could use Ethereum, but everybody's still swirling around in this same crypto sphere, if you will. There's nowhere to really run outside that. So this sounds like another option for people to exit, and some of these cryptocurrency investors, for them to bring different and new institutional money in a different form.
Exactly, Dave. The other thing that we do is we're going to accommodate the non-traditional cryptocurrency traders that want to come into the market. Right now, it's very hard and cumbersome for them to get onboarded at the crypto exchanges, even to get onboarded on Coinbase. By going through us, the process is streamlined because they come through a broker-dealer, and then they're able to purchase their cryptocurrencies on any one of these crypto exchanges using the ANKORUS platform.
Well, this sounds incredibly controversial, because I know from myself, talking to a lot of persons in blockchain, there are purists out there. They want the decentralization aspect of this cryptocurrency ecosystem. But you're bringing traditional finance right back into it, which is a sticking point for them, because they want to go into full decentralization, where you're trying to swing the pendulum back into institutional money. So what kind of advantages are there to bringing the institutional finance end of things back into the crypto sphere?
Well, we believe that decentralization is great in theory, but no one's really been able to solve that problem, and it's a few years off. So ANKORUS will be a transition to that as we bring in enough money to make all these cryptocurrencies go up. Because with the institutional money, then you have the air coming into the balloon to help to inflate all of these prices. Because right now, I think all of the prices of all the cryptocurrencies are tremendously undervalued. And with the financial institutions coming in, that'll only make for a long-term appreciation for all cryptocurrencies in the long term. People would like to think it's a bubble, but we don't think it's a bubble. We think it's here to stay, and it's the future of financial markets, cryptocurrency.
Right, and if I could add something as well here with that, from my numbers that I have, 0.03% of people on this planet have access to or actually own cryptocurrency at this point. When we move into 2018, 2019, these numbers are forecast to get up to about 4% global usage and acceptance. You realize that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over what is currently 0.03% of the population now. So when we're talking about cryptocurrency eating in on itself, I mean, when the price of Bitcoin's in a bull market, it screams up $6,000, and then everything else across the board falls. What do you see with this moving over and moving ahead if institutional money comes in?
Well, by having Ankorus do financial assets and crypto all under one entity, we don't need the banks because we'll easily move money from the financial side to the crypto side and back again from the crypto side to the financial assets. So what we're really doing here is cutting out the traditional banks. And that way, everything is accessible under one roof with us.
And that sounds what a lot of people really want to hear, is cutting out the traditional banks, because the margins they're pulling and the fees, you know, we've all experienced high fees in banks and nobody likes it. I don't even know one person I've ever met that says, I really like those high fees the banks charge me every time I buy or sell something.
Exactly. And we also cut down the time. Think about the time it takes to move your money from the bank to your brokerage account, from your brokerage account back to the bank, back to the crypto exchange. That's just a waste of time. And time is money. So by having everything under one entity, the broker-dealer entity, which is basically a synthetic bank, we cut out the bank and we cut out all that waiting time.
So when you talk about speed of transactions, how fast are you talking about? Are we minutes, hours, days?
I'll walk you through it. Basically, someone comes in, as an example, sells their Apple shares. They get their cash and they immediately go and buy their cryptocurrencies, whichever one they'd like. Let's say they see something move in another stock or another bond. They sell their cryptocurrencies, they get cash in their account, then they buy that. They can move back and forth seamlessly without having to go through the banking system.
Yeah, that sounds like decentralization to myself. 2.0 repacked for the real world with a lot more liquidity in a much, much, much larger market, which would allow cryptocurrency to actually expand. I think the mind frame right now with the decentralization, the way it's moving, it's constricting or bottlenecking some of what could be gains or expansion inside the crypto world.
Decentralization is good, but it'll take a while. There's really no technology out there, and it has to get acceptance by the regulatory authorities, the governmental agencies. So what we're doing is we're trying to build decentralization with the current system as it works. And decentralization really means cutting out the banks, because the banks are the bottleneck of bringing money from crypto back into financial and financial back into crypto, and they have to be done away with the banks.
All right, this is a great talk. Anything you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk today, Dave.
Tell me more about how can people contact you? When's the ICO running? ANKORUS.org. Can you spell that out for us and get everybody some links and ideas so they can connect with you?
Okay, you can follow us at ANKORUS.org. That's ANKORUS.org, O-R-G. And we're on Twitter, Facebook, Telegram. The ICO is going to start on November 25th, and it'll end on December 26th. Our hard cap is $25 million, and we're looking to raise that and be oversubscribed. So in the secondary market, when we list it, our ANK tokens will continue to go up.
Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the podcast. As you can clearly see, the future of money is here. Cryptocurrency is about to tokenize all assets on our planet, including financial instruments. I bring this podcast to you as an informational source of how our world is changing, where we're going to smart contracts when our food gets incredibly expensive, and I hope it does paint a more complete picture of where we are going in the future.